You're a patrol cop, not a detective.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means you seem to take it personally.
Sorry.
Are you going to tell them all what happened, Shamie Proctor?
I'm honored, obviously, to be one of the people that gets to choose, which movies get made and which ones don't. That's huge.
Welcome to this special edition of Arts 24 from Lille, where we're bringing you the highlights from Séries Mania, the festival celebrating the best of the small screen, which kicks off this weekend. Well, for that, we're joined by our resident TV critic, Dheepthika Laurent. Hi, Deepthi. Now, Séries Mania is not that old, but the festival's gone from strength to strength. It attracts some pretty serious crowds, both fans of series and industry people, right?
Yeah, that's right, Olivia. Séries Mania has been around since 2010. It's been hosted here in the northern French city of Lille since 2018. And it is really a chance to set the tone for what's hot and what's not in the industry of television for the year. This festival also has a very important business section. There's a lot of wheelings and dealings where the rights to series are sold and bought as well. This year, the festival will be opening with a French series called Carême. It's out on Apple TV Plus next month, and it follows the rise to fame of the world's first celebrity chef, Antonin Carême, who was a chef who became a really famous chef in Napoleon's Europe, and it looks at how politicians tried to use him as a spy for France as well. The creator of the series says it's a historical biopic, but it's one that has a sort of sexy rock and roll makeover. The festival will be ending also with a French series, the fifth season of HPI, about an exceptionally intelligent cleaner played by actress Audrey Fleurot. She works as a cleaner but turns police advisor. This will be the last season for HPI, and the series has, of course, spawned many adaptations, including most recently a glossy American makeover as well at the festival.
Okay, so we've got something historical and then a very contemporary show to kick off proceedings for the French language content. And there are some pretty big international names from the world of TV in attendance as well, right?
You have Black Mirror creator Charlie Brooker, who will be here. You also have Christina Hendricks, the actress you'll remember from Mad Men, but most recently as well, Good Girls. Pamela Adlon will be heading the jury as well. And, of course, you have Amanda Seyfried here to present her new show, Long Bright River, Olivia.
Well, indeed, let's talk about that show, Long Bright River. It takes us, it's a police thriller, as you mentioned, but it takes us deep into the heart of the American opioid crisis, right?
Yeah, that's right. So its French premiere takes place here at Séries Mania. It stars, as you mentioned, the Emmy and Golden Globe winning actress Amanda Seyfried. It's actually based on a novel by Liz Moore, and it's really the tale of it takes us really to deep dive into the opioid crisis in the American city of Philadelphia. So Amanda Seyfried plays a detective. She's a single mother and a detective investigating a series of deaths among drug addicts on the streets of Philadelphia. Initially, they're chalked down to overdoses, but something much more sinister is at play, we soon learn. And we learn that Mickey also has a very personal connection to these crimes. Her sister is an addict and she goes missing. So that's sort of how the intrigue begins. Take a look.
Went to elementary school down the street, and so did a lot of the girls working the avenue today.
These women are good people. The men, they're a different story.
It's our job to protect them.
Mom was scared.
You stay away from me.
Wait, you know him?
Yeah, I know him. You know him too.
She's still out there.
This thing is far bigger than we thought.
Nikki, don't go in! You gotta let it go.
I'll let it go when I find her.
So that looks like a pretty high-quality production, but Deepthi, did you enjoy it?
Look, I'll be honest, the tone, there's nothing joyous about this show, and that's not a bad thing. It's just a really sad, intense look at the opioid crisis. It's also a story about poverty and disenfranchised America, so it's a very intense watch. I did like it, though. I did. I found that Amanda Seyfried was really excellent in the role as this hero detective. She brings a lot of intensity, I would say the right amount of intensity without overdoing it. So it's definitely a gripping, serious watch at a crime drama.
Well, Long Bright River is in competition at Séries Mania. Take us through some of the other other contenders in the international category?
Well, you have some really strong series showing at the festival this year, Olivia. There's the world premiere of Kabul. Now, this is also a tense drama recounting the Taliban's seizing of Kabul. It's actually a European co-production. 11 countries participated in the production of this series. It's, as you can imagine, got a very international cast. Another show that caught my eye is the French premiere of Mussolini. Now, this tracks the rise of Benito Mussolini, who basically invented fascism in the 1920s, and it examines the society that allowed his rise and the conditions that led to his rise. You know, I don't need to tell you how resounding this series is in the current political context, not just in Italy, but abroad, Olivia.
Sounds quite sadly timely. So the drama there set in the US, in Afghanistan, Italy. What about the French category?
Yeah, some really interesting shows in the French category as well. There's this show called Clean. It's a pretty unusual premise. It follows Lola, who's in debt and fighting with her ex-husband for custody of the kids, and she teams up inadvertently, I guess, with a broker who's been doing insider trading at a company where she works as a cleaner. And it's really the series looks at how they try to game the system and make a bit of money for themselves. You also have La Famille Rose. Now, this is a horror series set in the French countryside. It's about a seemingly ordinary family, the Rose family, and their terrible secret, which is that they actually eat human flesh. You also have Reformed, which is really a lovely, heartwarming family drama about a young woman who breaks with convention by becoming the first female rabbi at a liberal synagogue in the French city of Strasbourg. It's interesting. She must battle her father's resolute atheism, as well as the conservative community's backlash at a female rabbi. It's a lovely, half-hour, 8-episode series that tackles life's big questions, and it actually reminds me a lot of Nobody Wants This, the hit, a Netflix show that came out earlier this year starring Kristen Bell as a free-spirited atheist and Adam Brody as a rabbi, and how they fall in love, Olivia.
Well, France 24's Nina Masson actually got a chance to catch up with the cast earlier to chat about Reformed. Let's take a look.
Mazel tov.
Fille d'André Rabbin. Vous dites comment, vous, la rabbin ou la rabbine?
Et les gens, ils attendent des réponses et des certitudes. Et c'est exactement les deux trucs dont je suis complètement dépourvue.
Les rabbins pleins de certitudes, c'est pas ça qui manque. C'est peut-être tous ceux qui cherchent autre chose, qui ont besoin de toi.
What I found interesting in this series is that it asks more questions than it gives answers. For me, that's what intelligence is, or rather that's how one would define wisdom, maybe. And that's what my character struggles with, because she is constantly asking herself questions and has no answers, whether for herself or for others. And suddenly she is meant to have all the answers.
Deepthi, you mentioned that Christina Hendricks is in town. Of course, the actress is best known for Mad Men, but she's got a new show coming out. Tell us more.
Yeah, this new series is called Small Town Big Story. It's created by the Irish actor Chris O'Dowd. Now, Christina Hendricks she plays this sort of hotshot Hollywood producer who returns to her rural home village in Ireland. It's a fictional town to make a movie, and she reunites with a local doctor there to investigate a very curious supernatural phenomenon that occurred 20 years earlier. It's got a bit of everything, it's got sci-fi, rom-com, and it's got the sort of quaint Irish town and fish out of water story, so it's got something for everyone there.
We planning on discussing the fact that dead birds keep dropping out of the feckin' sky, or what?
Well, the agenda is actually fairly packed. We could squeeze dead birds into Thursday night's agenda.
Were you friends with my dad? Kinda.
Sorry.
I love seeing the movie, roll into town, that sort of silly humor of seeing Hollywood out of place.
Hello!
I wanted, I suppose, to play somebody just who was a complete blackguard. I love a bullshitter, and I find you don't find them as much anymore because people can be found out so quickly.
Get freaky on Dagda. Unleash the power of the god of fertility.
Now, Olivia, one other highlight here at Séries Mania. It's quite an unusual conference. Former French President François Hollande will be partaking in a special conference dedicated to the ubiquity of political thrillers on the small screen, and especially where he'll be talking about the portrayal of presidents on television.
Now, you see, everyone loves a series, even former presidents. So, Dheepthi, next you're taking us through a series that's not showing at Séries Mania, but it's been widely acclaimed by the critics. It's called Adolescence, and it's out on Netflix.
It's been a runaway hit. It's been viewed 24 million times in just the first 4 days after its release, and it is really an incredible series, Olivia. It briefly actually got a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes as well. British actor Stephen Graham is the co-brains, if you like, behind this 4-part mini-series called Adolescence. Now, he plays the father of a teenager who's accused of fatally stabbing a classmate in their small town in northern England. The series tackles issues like incels, the manosphere, social media, harassment, bullying, and most interestingly, it uses the one-shot technique. So each of the 4 episodes were shot in one take, and they're about an hour long each episode. And that technique is just incredible because it really heightens every moment that of this series. The first episode, for instance, starts with the arrest of this young boy, and it's quite a brutal arrest by the police who barge into his home, and that one-shot technique really serves to intensify each moment. It's an incredible show, a difficult watch, but one that has very important messages, especially about teenagers and social media.
It certainly sparked some big debates in the UK. Well, we'll end on something a little lighter, though. The Studio on Apple TV+.
Yeah, this is a new Hollywood spoof comedy from Seth Rogen. He plays his idealistic, film-loving, newly appointed head of a movie studio, but as you can imagine, he has to deal with quite a lot of challenges. He's got squabbling executives, narcissistic artists, and corporate overlords who are all making his job very, very hard. Its pilot episode alone has cameos by Martin Scorsese, Steve Buscemi, and Charlize Theron. So that gives you a little taste of what to expect. It's hilarious, it's crude, it's really well written, and it offers much needed light relief that I think we all need right now, Olivia.
Well, let's leave you then with a look at The Studio out on Apple TV Plus this month. Dheepthi, thanks so much for that roundup from Séries Mania, and thank you to Nazreen Constantini behind the camera. The festival runs until Friday 28th of March in Lille, but if you're not there, do check out our website and our social media for more arts and culture here on Arts 24. There's more news coming up just after this.
Fine is not good enough. This is racist. You want to bring down the studio? Why didn't you shut this party down?
Why do you keep lying?
What is wrong with you?
The job makes you stressed and panicked and miserable. But when it all comes together and you make a good movie, it's good forever.